hold on to your seats. Today on Judge Judy, we're exploring the wild world of nannies, featuring a nanny, a BMW, and a dad puzzled by new dents. This live-in nanny's tale involves more than just childcare chaos. Stay tuned for a story packed with drama and mystery.
How do you know Mr. Clark?
My father actually knew him from high school, so I ended up working for him and taking care of his little boy that's 9 years old.
When did you borrow his car?
At the beginning of September.
Had you ever borrowed his car before?
Yes.
How long have you been working for him?
I worked for him since October of 2017 till about September 2018.
This nanny situation is stickier than a toddler with a lollipop. She's borrowed his cars countless times. No big deal, right? But after nearly a year of employment, did the trust start to wear thin when it came to that BMW?
Tell me when and under what circumstances before September of this year that you used his BMW?
It was times like when we were on our way to Canada, he would make me run to like Food Town, which is a little grocery store.
Where do you live?
I lived at his house in Utah with him.
Just the two of you?
No, it had his girlfriend, daughter, son, and all his employees.
Hold up? She lived there? In his house with his family and employees? This isn't just any nanny gig. It's a full-on domestic drama. When work and personal life mix like this, you know things are about to get super spicy.
So only a couple of times that you drove the BMW?
That one, yes.
But you drove the other car frequently?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you asked to borrow the car in September of this year.
Actually, he offered the car.
Judge Judy's throwing some shade. She catches Miss Trujillo flipping her story from borrowing frequently to suddenly needing an offer just this once. This twist reeks of something fishy. What's really going on here?
She drove your cars,
yes,
both the BMW and the van, frequently without incident. She borrowed your car with your permission.
Yes.
And it is your claim that when she returned the car to you, it was damaged.
Yes.
The nanny practically had a subscription service to the garage. Did a comfy history of trust make her a bit too reckless this round? Or is Mr. Clark just turning a parking ding into a drama saga?
Do you have any difficulty driving to Lake Powell?
No. When I first got the car from Casey, his witness...
You?
Yes. When I got the car from him, there was a tire light that was on, so I got out and checked all the tires to make sure it was fine, and it was all fine.
But you just looked around?
Yeah.
Like a girl would do. Well, they don't look flat, they're fine.
Hold up. She noticed a tire light but claims everything was fine? Judge Judy isn't about to let that slide. Looks like Miss Trujillo might be scrambling to explain away a potential problem with the car.
There's a bad sensor on the tire, and I thought she knew about that sensor, but Casey knew about it, other people knew about it. It's been just a sensor that I just haven't replaced, and I've had it checked out.
I got out and checked them, but I did text Kelly, making sure like the oil and tires were fine. He did confirm that they would be fine.
Well, Mr. Clark is crying faulty sensor? Sounds like someone's playing the blame game. But Judge Judy isn't buying what he's selling. She's got that fix-it-yourself buddy look in her eyes.
Did you have an argument over the car?
No.
So why did you stop working for him?
His daughter actually kicked me out of their house.
When did you stop working for Mr. Clark?
It was probably 10 days after that.
Was Mr. Clark at home between the 6th and the 10th?
No, he was in a part of Alaska that had no service.
Hold the phone? She got the boot from his daughter? This plot twist just turned into a full-blown soap opera. Forget the car. We've got family feuds on the menu tonight. And Mr. Clark, mysteriously MIA.
Do you want to tell me the circumstances surrounding you being thrown out by his daughter?
Yeah, so me and her were having arguments, and her boyfriend came to town, and 15-year-olds when their boyfriends, you know. And then she told me, just pack your stuff and get out then. And
you
her
didn't
boyfriend...
want to go to Alaska for what?
I had to go with him to watch his little boy, and I just thought it was too much, and I said I didn't want to go, and that's when she kicked me out.
Teenage drama and a boyfriend in the mix. This is getting juicy. Sounds like Ms. Trujillo's job responsibilities might have taken a backseat to the high school tensions in that house. This case just went from damaged car to reality TV level family feud.
What your claim is that Miss Trujillo damaged your car. I'm waiting for evidence.
Do you want me to go? I've got stuff for you for sure.
Well, you weren't there. Who was there when she came home with the car?
My girlfriend, Michaela Jensen.
Where is she?
She couldn't be here because she's with my son. She had to. The only person I had.
Who is here?
My mother.
You were there when she brought the car home?
No, I wasn't there.
No, she says she wasn't there.
Mr. Clark is treading water. His whole case rests on a no-show witness. Judge Judy can't stand shaky evidence. Looks like he's about to sink in this courtroom showdown.
And you found the car damaged?
Yeah, we didn't have any keys. She ended up with both of my car keys. When Michaela got home, she needed to have a vehicle. So she went to use the car. She had to get a hold of Mercedes. Mercedes then brought her the key up, and that's when everything surfaced.
Can't help. You should have brought your daughter.
Well, she's actually, I didn't think she was of age, plus she's on a cruise. Timing was real
She's
bad on
what?
that. She's on a cruise right now.
This begs the question. When you desperately need evidence, would you rely on a teenager who's conveniently out of reach? And that was just the warm-up. Get ready, folks, because things are about to get more interesting as we dive into a he said, she said situation where a car, a babysitter, and hard feelings have collided. Judge Judy is about to crack this case wide open.
You met Mr. Richardson because you both have children that go to the same school?
We do.
Okay, and your child is how old?
She's 6.
Is your child?
7.
In exchange for babysitting for his 7-year-old daughter, that he would barter a Jeep that he had for sale, that you fulfilled your end of the contract, and that at some point he took the Jeep back.
Hold on, babysitting in exchange for a car? This deal sounds too good to be true and Judge Judy knows it. I smell some serious miscommunication happening here. Or maybe someone's trying to pull a fast one. Let's see how this plays out.
When did you start to use the Jeep?
In the end of October.
When did you babysit for her?
He would drop her off first thing in the morning, about an hour to an hour and a half before school started. I would take the kids to school and then pick them up, and I would watch her for between 1 to 3 hours after school.
Wait a minute, the math here is sketchier than a toddler's doodle. Judge Judy's on the case, probably scratching her head thinking, since when does babysitting for a few hours buy you a Jeep?
And you did that November, December, January, and part of February.
Yes, ma'am.
When do you claim you paid off the Jeep?
I had it paid off by January.
So in 2 months, you worked 120 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
I'm trying to figure out whether there's a logic.
Judge Judy's got her skeptic's hat on, and so do we. Her story has more holes than a block of Swiss cheese. Either she's the world's highest paid babysitter, or there's way more under the surface.
What you said in your complaint was Brian was selling his 1944 Jeep Laredo for $1,500 and he needed a babysitter. You never worked off the $1,500. Times 5 days a week is 15. Times the 2 months, it's 120 hours. $8 an hour comes to $9.60. Add the 31 cents, it's nowhere near $1,500.
This is not looking good for Miss Cox. The numbers don't lie, and it seems her story is starting to crumble. I wonder if she has an ace up her sleeve, or if she's about to get schooled.
I don't believe you, is my problem. I think you needed his car, he let you use the car, and then something happened. Now, he may have been smitten with you, I don't know. That's what you suggest in your complaint. If you thought that he was smitten with you, then you shouldn't have worked for him.
Things are getting messy, and that mention of a smitten ex complicates everything. This is more than just a car disagreement. It's about to get personal.
If you took advantage of his being smitten with you in exchange for whatever, I'm telling you that I don't believe that he ever sold you and bartered the Jeep.
Judge Judy drops a truth bomb. No official sale in sight. With a juicy smitten ex angle, Miss Cox needs solid proof fast. Now let's switch gears to Mr. Richardson's side. Betty tells a different tale.
Ma'am, she lives a block from the school. That's how I met her. I saw her walking her little boy to school to pick her daughter. So I was looking for a babysitter, and I seen her walking to school, and I thought, well,
And
I told her, I said, hey, I have a Jeep. You could use it, do whatever you want to with it. I'll insure it. I'll get plates on it.
Hold on. His story takes a total U-turn. This is less about a car deal and more about neighborly help gone wrong. Judge Judy smells trouble brewing. It seems there are two very different versions of this agreement.
She didn't watch her every week. I have split custody with my ex-wife. I have my daughter 1 week, so it wasn't all that. It was half of that every other week. So 4 to 5 weeks is all she watched her total. And like I say, an hour in the morning, and I do visits in the afternoon. Okay.
that's fine.
Mr. Richardson just dropped a bombshell. Shared custody means the babysitting time is drastically reduced. Judge Judy isn't impressed by the omission. This changes everything.
How much money in total did you give her?
$600, ma'am. Whatever she needed, I gave it to her.
Like what?
Well, her coffee pot broke down. I bought her a coffee pot, her DVD player.
DVD player you bought her or you gave her?
I bought it for her. And a new coffee pot. I
And
bought
what
her a
else?
necklace. I bought her shoes. I bought her anything she asked for.
Wait, coffee pots and necklaces? Mr. Richardson is sounding less like an employer and more like a sugar daddy. Judge Judy sees right through the babysitting excuse.
First week, she hadn't watched my daughter 1 week, and she was short on rent. So I lent her $200 the first time. Then she's gonna get evicted the next day, or the landlord's coming over in an hour and a half to throw her out. And I says, I have some in my backyard. I got it $400 for her and gave it to her, and she never has paid me nothing back.
First $200, then $400. These loans are stacking up like pancakes. This looks less employer babysitter, more financial rescue mission. Judge Judy's ready for proof. Was this just charity in disguise? Let's see how it unfolds.
You indicate that he loaned you $400.
Yes, he did pay me $400.
No, didn't say paid. You wrote loan.
I wrote loan because that's what he was claiming that it was. So I even took that $400 off of here.
Good. The complaint is dismissed on the counterclaim.
Ma'am,
I'm awarding you, sir, $400. We're done.
I have a police report about harassment.
Miss Cox's defense is crumbling faster than a stale cookie. Judge Judy isn't convinced, and her patience is wearing thin. But wait, did we just hear about harassment accusations?
Well, the first time, one of her friends at school came up to me threatening to beat me up because I took my Jeep back. The second time, some lady comes up to me. I find out it's her mom. She said, I want to tell you what a low-life piece of you are for the way you did my daughter. So that time I called the cops, ma'am.
Complaint is dismissed. Judgment on the counterclaim for $400.
Ma'am,
We're done.
Ma'am.
Schoolyard threats and fuming moms. This babysitting job escalated into an all-out brawl. Judge Judy laid down the law, but let's chew on this. If you were in Judy's robes, would those gifts sway your verdict? And does a hint of sugar daddy drama twist the tale of a simple loan into something more? Drop your verdict in the comments. Strap in and brace yourselves for our next case where we dive into the daycare danger zone. Next up, Judge Judy tackles every parent's nightmare. An infant with a broken leg while under daycare watch. Was it a heart-wrenching accident? Or is there a darker twist lurking behind the scenes?
Mr. and Mrs. Walker, about a year and a half ago, the defendant had a daycare. At that time, your children, the oldest was 9, and then you had a 5-year-old and an infant who was 4, and you were working. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. 4 months.
And this was July 2nd of 2015.
Correct.
This was not the first time you had taken the children to her daycare. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, 3 young kids and a working mom. Daycare seems like a must. But Judge Judy's focused on this date for a reason. Something major went down on July 2nd. And I have a feeling it wasn't just nap time gone wrong.
Now, I'm going to start now with you, Miss Shearer.
Yes.
Do you have your own children?
I do.
Between your children and her children, how many other children were you caring for in July of 2015?
4 and 6 more children.
Between 10 and 12 children.
Correct.
And who was there with you?
My husband.
Wow. Miss Scherer was juggling more kids than a clown at a birthday party. 4 of her own plus 6 in daycare? That's not childcare, that's a mini carnival. How could one person, even with an assistant, keep all those tiny tots in line?
Your 4-month-old child had a broken leg.
Yes. That morning, he was perfectly fine.
You got a call from the defendant who said that she couldn't stop him from crying. Your lawsuit wants her to pay for your medical bills because she thought that they would be covered by some Crime Victims Compensation Act, but they weren't.
A healthy baby dropped off, a frantic phone call, and a broken leg? This isn't just a coincidence, it's a red flag the size of Judge Judy's gavel. It seems someone missed some crucial warning signs, and that someone was supposed to be watching the kids.
You were in the kitchen cooking.
Correct. It was lunchtime.
In the kitchen, you have a swing set up.
No, in the living room.
The baby was crying, so his older brother got him out of the swing and he stopped crying.
Correct.
The baby started crying again, and when I turned around, do you remember what you saw?
Yes.
Cooking lunch with a symphony of baby cries in the background? Judge Judy's not swallowing that story. With over 10 kids zooming around, surely someone was on baby watch, right? Hold on tight before Judy unveils what really happened.
Brother had the baby on his back on the floor, where he was holding his legs or ankles, twisting him back and forth.
What did you do?
I asked him to please stop.
According to you, I told him to pick up the baby and play nicely.
Correct.
You're an idiot.
If you've got Judge Judy chuckling, pack up. It's over. Her laughter alone is like a verdict. Play nicely isn't quite the advice you expect when a tot's being twirled by the ankles. This is supposed to be daycare, not a toddler tornado zone.
How could any state allow you to take care of children? You see a 9-year-old playing roughly with a 4-month-old infant. You leave the sink or you leave whatever you're doing and you go inside and you attend to the baby. You tell the 9-year-old, play nicely.
Judge Judy's outrage is palpable. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You can't look away. How can anyone responsible for children be so oblivious to danger? This is a textbook example of negligence.
You tell him, play nicely, after you saw him swinging around the baby.
We were making
And the older brother was still not being gentle enough. Do you run in? Does genius over here run in, take this 4-month-old defenseless infant away from a 9-year-old?
Things are spiraling out of control. Baby's crying, big brother's roughhousing, and she's just making lunch? The calm here is eerie. Meanwhile, Judge Judy's sarcasm is so icy you could skate on it.
According to you, it's the 9-year-old's fault.
I don't know that it happened in my care.
You called her and said, come and pick up the baby won't stop crying. Prior to that, did you ever call the mother and say to her, come and pick up the baby won't stop crying? And within 24 hours, the baby was in surgery for a broken leg. You think that that's coincidental?
Maybe the baby was having a bad day.
A bad day, Miss Scherer? Does that usually involve a broken leg? Is she living under a rock? Judge Judy's eye roll is off the charts. Seriously, that excuse is about as believable as a unicorn running a daycare.
If I were running the social service department in Idaho, tomorrow, your license should be yanked. You have 10 to 12 children, including a 4-month-old infant, so that nobody is really watching the 4-month-old baby. We're done. I'm so upset. Anyway.
Judge Judy's verdict is in $5,000 against the daycare. She's blasting not just the provider, but the entire system. This hefty judgment sparks a bigger debate. Are our kids truly safe in childcare? What safeguards are necessary? How much is peace of mind worth? Share your thoughts below. In our explosive finale, a former live-in nanny and her employer go head-to-head in a fiery showdown. Allegations of theft, assault, and entangled financial webs are set to explode. Buckle up. Things are about to get seriously messy.
Miss Lilac, the defendant had dated your dad for a while.
Yes.
This is your dad?
No, that's a family friend.
Did your father and Miss Kelly date?
I never officially dated her father. We were very close.
The case starts with a romantic twist. Judge Judy's already digging into the backstory, and this denial of a relationship is intriguing. I wonder if this alleged connection between Miss Lyle's father and her employer has anything to do with the current chaos.
You needed a place to stay.
Yes.
When was that?
A little bit before March is when we discussed about me moving in with her.
Where had you been living up until then?
I lived in Spokane.
With whom?
On my own.
And what happened that you needed a place to stay?
I just couldn't afford my place anymore, and me and her discussed, and she said that I could move in there.
A homeless nanny? That's a red flag. Things are escalating quickly. This doesn't sound like a typical employer-employee situation. Was Miss Kelly just being generous, or was there a hidden agenda behind this temporary living situation?
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a certified nurse's assistant.
And you have children who need services, so you get money from the state for daycare?
Yes.
He moved in on March 27th, and you started to collect money from the state?
Yes. It was over $2,000 for all 3 kids altogether.
$2,000?
Yeah.
Week, a month?
A month.
Whoa. Over $2,000 a month in childcare subsidies? That's a pretty penny. Judge Judy's definitely raising an eyebrow at this figure. Are we about to uncover some shady financial dealings? Something doesn't quite add up here.
What did you do with all the money?
I paid her to live there, and
how much did you pay her?
In all, it was around $2,000 in all.
She didn't give me any money for rent, no. And she gave me some cash to pay her aunt back, and then...
How much did she have to pay her aunt back?
$400.
Did you owe your aunt money?
Yes.
Did you pay her back?
Yes, ma'am.
They're both playing fast and loose with the facts. Money paid in cash. Rent allegedly paid in cash. Judge Judy's all over these contradictions, and it's clear she's not impressed with this tangled financial web. Like someone's about to get caught in a big lie.
You're suing her for belongings, damaged property, and you're suing this young man for assault. So what property do you think she has that belongs to you?
Basically everything.
When did you tell the defendant that you were moving out?
I was going to tell her the next day when I went back to work. She wasn't home when I went to get some of my belongings.
Just a second. You were watching her children.
I wasn't watching her children at that time.
Why?
There was someone else there watching them.
Who was watching them?
One of her friends.
Hold the phone. She claimed everything and left without a word. Things are getting messier than a toddler's dinner. And who's this mystery babysitter? Time to find out who's watching the kids and who's cashing in.
Who was getting paid?
I was.
You weren't watching her children. Why were you getting paid?
Me and Megan had an agreement that if I were to claim those hours, that I would give her the extra money.
We figured out how to scam the system, somehow scam the system for doing nothing.
Judge Judy's done with this financial charade. She's calling out Miss Lyle for gaming the system and Miss Kelly for enabling it. This arrangement sounds more like a shady scheme than a legitimate child care agreement. So it looks like Miss Lyle might have just talked herself out of a win.
Well, if you planned on moving out June 15th, and you should have taken all your stuff. You have any of her stuff that you want to give back to her?
I don't have anything of hers.
Good. What kind of damaged property did she damage?
I had went to pick up my car, and all my tires were slashed open.
Now comes the damaged property accusation. Slashed tires, no less. But Judge Judy doesn't seem to be buying much of Miss Lyle's story so far. It's hard to sympathize when the narrative keeps changing.
You have any proof of who slashed your tires?
No, ma'am.
Good. So we take care. Have we taken care of your entire case, which I'm totally unsympathetic about? No. Now let's get to the assault part.
No proof of slashed tires? Judge Judy's giving Miss Lyle the side eye like, girl, please. But wait, there's more drama in store. It seems like Miss Lyle isn't done playing the victim card. Is this assault accusation the twist that'll turn things around for her?
Suing this young man for assault.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
want to tell me on what day he assaulted you?
It was on June 18th
Where did it take place?
in her bathroom.
You just told me you moved out June 15th. What
yeah,
are you
but
doing
I didn't
in her
have
bathroom?
all my stuff yet. And
Oh, that's your fault. So now you're in her bathroom and?
And her son, Austin Kelly, comes out of the bedroom and he's like, get out.
Of the house.
Get out of the house, indeed. Miss Lyle, the woman who couldn't even remember the timeline of her own living situation, is now claiming assault? Color me skeptical. Judge Judy's not buying this trespassing tale, and it's starting to feel like Miss Lyle is just grasping at straws to win this case.
And then he went to grab my box and dump out my stuff, so I grabbed it from him, and then he pushed me. I pushed him back in defense, and then he punched me in the side of the face and broke my glasses.
Did you call the police?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see the police report?
A full-on scuffle over a box? This escalated quickly. Now Miss Lyle's playing the victim card again, complete with photos of alleged injuries. But Judge Judy's seen it all before. She's going straight to the evidence. Now let's hear the son's side of the story.
Okay, so I was in my mom's bathroom and I heard my brothers and sisters yelling. I went out and checked in. I saw her in our bathroom and I told her, get out of our house. And she's like, no, I'm grabbing things. Well, she was grabbing things that wasn't even hers, like our shampoo, our belongings. We went to leave and I knocked all the stuff that she had, and she pushed me, hit me, and then she went to hit me again, and then I hit her back in the face.
This, he said, she said, just got messier than a toddler's playroom. Austin's defense is interesting. Did he really need to knock her stuff out of her hands? Sounds like someone might be embellishing their victim status here.
Daisy had my children's car seats because she was transporting my kids in her vehicle.
Okay. Did you replace the car seats?
Yes.
This arrangement with state money is annoying to me. It should be annoying to any taxpayer. Thousands of dollars a month that's being split up.
As soon as she got wind of those dodgy financial dealings, she was all over it. She's fed up with both parties and their questionable child care arrangements. This case is turning into a taxpayer-funded train wreck, and Judge Judy is about to lay down the law.
She assaulted my son.
No, they had a fight. They had an argument. It's over. You didn't go to the hospital, did you? No. Did you seek medical care? No. Did you go to the hospital?
No, ma'am.
Did you seek medical care?
No, ma'am.
You were trespassing. You understand?
Yes.
Judge Judy's shutting down the assault claims faster than a speeding ticket. Miss Lyle's trespassing tale isn't holding up, and her plea of self-defense seems like a desperate attempt to shift blame. And then this old dude shows up to save the lady, but it was totally the wrong moment.
To let her know that she was going to be moving.
Just a second. Pay careful attention. If she got an apartment, and then I'm done with you. If she got an apartment on the 15th, as you said, on the 16th, she went back, which means she didn't sleep in the defendant's house on the 15th.
That's right.
She slept at her new apartment with her boyfriend.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Got that, old man? Judge Judy's not about to let anyone derail her courtroom, especially not with some convoluted timeline. She's got zero patience for these shenanigans. That wraps up our roller coaster ride through Judge Judy's courtroom. From family feuds to financial fiascos, it's been quite a day. What's your take on these cases? Would you have made the same calls as Judge Judy? Hit that like button if you enjoyed the drama. Subscribe for more and drop a comment with your verdicts. Let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next video.